What's good, guys? Welcome to another episode of No Capes Required. I got my man Doug back here again. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
And yeah, we've got a great show for you today. So much has happened in the last week, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, Doug, let's just dive on in.
Let's get right into it.
So if you thought that Disney and Marvel Studios were just going to relax and bask in their glory and success of Captain Marvel, you would be wrong. Because this week, they figured that this would be the perfect time to just drop this trailer bomb on us for the Avengers Endgame. Yeah, Marvel never stops, Disney never stops. And yeah, so they just posted the newest trailer of Avengers Endgame, and in one word, there's really not one word really you can say about this trailer. Beautiful, amazing, unreal. I can't stop thinking of words.
Sky, do you see the execution, the way Marvel is doing? Yeah. First, let's just point it out, okay?
Yeah.
Marvel drops Captain Marvel in which month?
Women's History Month.
Okay. Then they get
on International Women's Day, by the way.
On International Women's Day. Then, not even, has it been a week? Has it been a week yet since the movie came out?
I mean, so technically it's the opening weekend, and we'll get into the specifics of that later, but yeah.
No.
So they're technically not a week, yeah.
So they're not
technically a week.
They're not just like, oh, let's bask in the glory that is Captain Marvel. No, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna mess up the game even more, drop a trailer, just like sneaking in there. I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just sneak a trailer. Marvel, we see what you're doing, man.
No, I mean, but they're not sneaky about it, but they're also amazing at it, so we can't blame them for it. And yeah, this trailer, where do I even begin? So I think the best thing about this trailer is partly the beginning. I mean, the whole trailer is great, but what I really loved about it is that it highlighted the big three, or Marvel's Trinity. And by that, I mean the main guys, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Like, those three really have kind of been at the center of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so it's only right that they get sort of the most screen time in this trailer, and we would hope to get the most screen time in this movie.
Right, definitely not mad at it. I mean, anywhere that Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man are going to be, definitely I'm going to be there watching.
Exactly. So it's great just to see the fact that we got to see like their journeys. We're like, in the MCU, we've really been in a journey with all these Avengers, but I think especially those three. Those have gotten, the most movies made off of them, and just to see their journeys, where Iron Man came from being like, a weapons developer and everything, where Captain America, just this skinny kid that wanted to do the right thing, where Thor was, this god already, but very arrogant and did learn these life lessons, to now where they are now. I mean, it's just awesome. It's been an awesome journey. It's
been an awesome journey, a crazy experience. I mean, not even 5 seconds into the trailer, Iron Man's having a flashback about just how long it's been since he donned that first Iron Man armor and broke out of that cave, man. And it just makes you think about, like, dang, I've been watching these movies for over 10 years.
No,
It's crazy.
There's like I said, there's really too many things about this trailer to break down, but we'll do as best as we can. Right. Obviously we see like all of them rounding up. We see Ant-Man a good amount. We see Hawkeye ready to do some battle. We got Black Widow back with the red hair. She was blonde for a minute, but she's back in her scarlet red, which is only fitting. And
you end how you begin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it just really, this trailer, to sum it up, has really just been like the first two trailers, but even more so just an umph at the end of it, really, where it's just all or nothing.
Right.
And we see them in their matching white suits. There are a lot of theories about what that can be, possibly like the quantum realm. We don't know. Space, we don't really know. I mean, what those white suits are for, but it's cool that their uniforms are matching. They really are a part of a team.
I mean, I will say one thing about the suits.
Yeah.
Captain America can't really breathe in space. So, I mean, it could just be a spacesuit.
One new thing that we saw in this trailer was Captain Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel wasn't in the first two trailers. I think that was on purpose because she was getting her own solo movie.
Yeah.
But, now that her solo movie has come out, she is, in the trailer, and, she's also on the new poster that also got released with the trailer, and the poster is pretty cool as well, pretty sweet. So, and Captain Marvel does have a funny little scene at the end with Thor, as we kind of talked about in the last episode. Arguably the two strongest, heroes at this point.
Right.
And she stares at him. He brings his hammer there. She seems unfazed, just gives him a little smirk, and Thor just says, "I like this one."
Sky, I'm just gonna say before you even go anymore, just off this trailer, I wouldn't mind like if this was a 5-hour movie.
5 hours.
Like I've watched this trailer before we sat down. I watched the trailer 2 more times, and every time I watched it was like I could really plan my whole day to just be in the theater.
No, yeah, I mean, look, watching this trailer, I really feel like I could run through a wall.
Right.
I feel like if I showed my dog this trailer, he would transform into a wolf. It's really like that type of trailer. So because of how much hype this movie is getting, people like myself are really everybody's wondering how much is it going to make, because it seems like everybody's really going to see this movie, it seems like. But and so can it break the all-time record? So the all-time record is Avatar, which is the highest grossing movie ever with $2,787,000,000. Infinity War, when it came out, is 4th all-time, a little over $2 billion. So do you feel like Endgame can pass Avatar for the highest grossing movie ever?
I don't know. I'm not going to give a guarantee. I'm definitely not going to give a guarantee. I think it has the most potential to pass it. Like, if there was a movie to come out and gave me a list or something like that, Avengers would definitely be on that list.
Yeah,
probably
definitely.
number 1 to be able to pass it. Because I just don't see, especially how well it did. It was on 4th, right? The last one. If it already generated a 4th place on that list, I can only see more people coming to see that
especially
movie.
with how Infinity War ended.
Right.
And with the success, we're going to mention in a little bit about Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like the sky's the limit, no pun intended, like, for this movie to really just make it as much bank as possible. Obviously, we know it's going to make, it's going to be top 10, I would say, all time. I feel like that's going to be a guarantee.
Most definitely.
So,
and if it is almost a guarantee that's going to be in the top 3. Like, it's definitely going to do better than it did with the Infinity War.
It's going to be doing better than Infinity War.
I just don't know if it's a guarantee, number 1. That $2 billion something, whatever it did. It's a pretty big gap from that and the number 2 that's currently there already.
Yeah.
But I definitely foresee this movie being top 3.
So if you'll remember in episode 3, Doug and I discussed whether, some critics' beef with Brie Larson would hurt, the movie Captain Marvel and its release and how much money it would make. The answer to that is a resounding no, because this movie made a ton of money, and I mean a ton of money. So according to Variety, the movie made $455 million worldwide at the box office this weekend for the 6th biggest global debut ever. It also beat its own projections for North America, where instead of making $125 million like they estimated it to, they brought in $153 million. So, are you surprised by how much Captain Marvel has made?
Yeah. I'm not even going to lie. Before this, I think in episode 3, I was kind of hesitant to even know what Captain Marvel was going to do. Like, we both knew it was going to be a big movie. You know what I'm saying? Just because it has that Marvel push behind it. Mm-hmm. But my expectations were definitely blown away, and the numbers are here to prove that.
Right now it's on track to make over $1 billion.
Right.
I mean, so like,
it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like screw all the numbers. Like, the movie was good.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I mean, still people have some different opinions about it, and I could see that it's not a flawless movie. It has, it could have been better in certain areas. I have to see it again personally to know what people like the guy that we interviewed talking about. I don't know if I don't think I can say right now it's not a bad movie.
No.
Like that's what I will say. But I think it was just a fun movie, and the thing is, like you said before, Marvel did a great job not only in marketing it, but also just having it come out on International Women's Day, and a part of Women's History Month in March. Like, it was just a great idea for them, and obviously they succeeded.
Yeah, they deserve all the riches that come with this, man.
Yeah.
All of it. Would you be excited to see a Captain Marvel 2?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Solo series?
Yeah, no, I think the people that do have a problem with the first Captain Marvel, so like right now it's a 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that's still pretty certified fresh. but maybe, you know, some people were expecting maybe it to be in the 90s or 80s. But what I will say, for those of you that did not like the first Captain Marvel, remember the first Captain America movie? Even though I liked it, there were some different mixed opinions on the movie, and people who didn't like the first Captain America loved, and I mean loved, Winter Soldier, and then Civil War after that.
But that goes back to what I said on last episode, with like, when you have an origin story of a character that, especially one that people don't really know of, you have to fit so much into that one movie, that first movie. Yeah. So that people get an understanding of who this character is. Yeah. Then once that's done, they have all the freedom to do what they want to do. So definitely that second Captain Marvel movie that's gonna come out. Yeah. It should definitely. The story should definitely be better than this one if you had a problem with the story.
Yeah, no. And what's interesting about that, obviously, I compared it a little bit to Guardians of the Galaxy, but in a way it is sort of like, you know, Captain America, the First Avenger, because they're both period pieces. Right. You know, they're both occurring, sort of in, you know, obviously the 90s and Civil War days, different periods of time, but they're both in the past. Right. And so I feel like maybe some people don't like that old-fashioned flavor in a superhero movie, and maybe that's part of it. But yeah, I mean, I think with Captain Marvel going forward, especially being prevalent, and I think, you know, even if this wasn't her best performance, I think everybody would agree that Brie Larson's a good actress, if not a great actress. So I just feel like the thing is, like, there's so much potential with this character and her series going forward, and that's why, you know, I'm excited, you know, her to join the other two, which is like, you know, Spider-Man and Black Panther as like the new Trinity in the MCU, as it were, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
We'll definitely get to that.
So recently this week, in honor of Captain Marvel, WNBA superstar Candace Parker debuted her own Adidas Captain Marvel kicks. So, and in my professional opinion, they look absolutely dope. And we'll show a picture up on the screen while we're talking. They're pretty sweet. Yeah. And this follows kind of in the line of, you know, athletes and especially basketball players, you know, sporting these superhero colorways. You know, Donovan Mitchell has his own, a bunch of Spider-Man kicks. Even before he got his signature shoe, he was sporting some Venom kicks as well. I mean, so
Cam Newton had some Superman shoes.
Yeah, and then, you know, speaking of Superman, LeBron actually, I think it was around Christmas, debuted his own Superman colorway. I think they're called the Super Bronze. But, you know, with this recent trend of, you know, athletes displaying all these superhero colorways and these signature kicks, do you feel like, because superheroes have already dominated the movie and TV industry, can they now dominate the fashion industry, the fashion world?
Well, the thing about that, Sky, is that superheroes and, like, athletics, especially in our generation, they really go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. Like, people our age and just like maybe 5 years older, even 10, even to LeBron's age, they grew up with superheroes.
No, they did.
So the fact that they're becoming quite a stigma within pop culture today, people are really integrating them within their job fields and whatever their brands are. So I could definitely, I don't know about dominating. All right, let's
But I was saying, could they be like relevant and
definitely relevant? Yeah, they won't dominate fashion, but I could definitely see superhero T-shirts, hoodies, like paraphernalia coming about again, and like starting to have some prominent status again, like they did in like the '90s era. You know what I'm saying? When the comic book boom came about, I could definitely see this being like a third coming of that, or a second coming, however you want to take that. But yeah, definitely not dominating. I do think it could be relevant, especially within sneakers and within clothing. Yeah, this is gonna become a thing.
No, yeah, definitely. And like you, I don't think, you know, dominate is a strong word, and maybe not that just because, you know, fashion, there's just so many brands and everything. But I will say, you know, we didn't think that superheroes movies would be as big as they are today, or TV shows would be as big as they are today. So we can never underestimate them. But I do agree that while they might not dominate, they will be very relevant. And the thing about shoes especially is, and what I look for as a sneakerhead is just, you know, great colorways. So superheroes have some of the best colors in their outfits and costumes. Yes. So they make great colorways for sneakers.
For sure.
And, you know, that's why I wanted to throw this question out there. I don't know if you want me to answer it first, but what superhero colorways are you looking forward to seeing next on a basketball sneaker?
Man, yeah, I'm gonna let you go first because there's so many superheroes with awesome colorways. I gotta think about it for a second.
Yeah, no, for sure. So this one will surprise you. I mean, I guess I'll throw out a couple. I would love to have like team packs. The first group that I was thinking of in terms of a team colorway, which I think many would be surprised, is actually the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Just because, you have 4 turtles, and I think with each turtle you would have like their own signature shoe. So for Leonardo's shoe, you would have it be blue just because of the blue bandana. For Raph's shoe, you would have it red. For Mikey's, orange. Donatello's purple. And so you really have like your TMNT pack.
Right.
And you can choose which colorway depending on your favorite turtle or just your favorite color.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good marketing scheme too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So you try raking the money. I got you.
I think it'd be cool. But what about you?
The first that comes to mind, just because I've always been enamored with his colors, especially in the show, Static Shock.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, I think Static Shock could have a great colorway on the shoe, especially with the yellow lightning bolt, with the blue and the black.
Ooh, that would be sweet. Dope. Yeah, because you could imprint the lightning bolt like on the shoe. And
right.
That would be dope. Marvel Studios has just hired Asian American director Destin Daniel Cretton to helm a film for martial arts hero Shang-Chi, the first superhero movie led by an Asian protagonist. And on a side note, my brother actually did a movie with Destin, Just Mercy, that actually stars Brie Larson. So, and he actually had this to say about him. Destin is a really good dude. Happy for him. Gonna kill it.
Short and sweet.
Exactly. So in addition, Chinese-American writer Dave Callahan is writing the screenplay for this movie via Deadline. So it looks like they got a plan in place. Obviously, they still need to find a lead. But are you liking the direction of this Shang-Chi movie?
It's definitely kind of early to kind of get behind the direction they're going. Obviously, it's a Marvel movie, so I'm going to be excited about that. But I do like how they're kind of implementing more, a more racial diversity within their movies. I really like that. The only issue, it's not even really an issue, it's more of just like just a worry that because they are focusing on diverse movies and stuff like that and hiring diverse people for these movies, is the writing going to be good?
Yeah. Because
we know that there's specifically good writers, out there, and especially within the Marvel world, within cinematic universe as well. As long as the writing is good, I'll be okay. Because if they're just hiring people just to hire people, just because it goes with their movie, and it doesn't work out to be that good of a movie, well then the whole atmosphere of hiring diverse people takes a hit because that movie didn't do well. So as long as the movie is doing fine, I'm okay. As long as the writers are cool, I'm cool.
Like you're saying, like they're not getting people that aren't good directors or writers. Like they're obviously getting, with Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler was just a good director. He did Creed, which was great. He did Fruitvale Station, which was great. So they're getting, minority directors, but they're also getting good minority directors. And hey, if my brother swears by this guy, then I'm swearing by him, and I know he'll do good. But I am really interested in this Shang-Chi movie just because Shang-Chi is not a hero that I'm familiar with.
Right. And
because of that just makes me more intrigued. That makes me really want to know more about his character. And just, the thought of an Asian-led martial arts hero superhero movie.
It's definitely gonna be cool.
And I know you of all people really love martial arts. Seeing that on the big screen in the MCU is going to be cool. It's going to be almost like, new age Bruce Lee movie.
Right.
For me, if I'm just doing, just throwing a little bit of a fan casting out there, obviously I think, if Marvel does cast, some Asian American guy to play this movie that's unheard of, I'm okay with it just because they've done a really good job with, getting Chris Hemsworth, who nobody really knew of, or Tom Holland, who nobody really knew of, and they've both done fantastic in their roles. So I wouldn't mind them doing that. But if I am throwing one name out there, I would just throw out Henry Golding, who starred in Crazy Rich Asians, which was obviously one of the biggest movies of this year.
Yeah.
And you know how whenever you look at a movie and you're just seeing somebody and they just you automatically say to yourself, that guy's going to be a star in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I thought the whole time of watching Crazy Rich Asians, just because Henry Golding really has it all in terms of the charm, the charisma, the acting chops. He has everything you really need to lead a franchise. The only concern I feel like that you would have in terms of casting him as Shang-Chi is that I don't think he has a martial arts background.
That will be the question. You need to have a martial arts movie. This is the same thing that I think kind of didn't allow Iron Fist to go where it needed to go. There was the main protagonist did not have any type of martial arts skill, and it was apparent, and that really takes you out of the immersion.
But I will say that the actors that they cast now, like Chris Evans and so many other people, they didn't have training before the movie, but then you really, once you're cast for that role, they make sure you get a lot of training in, because Chris Evans went through a lot of training for Winter Soldier and Civil War, and I'm pretty sure that whoever is cast as Shang-Chi will do even more, because it is really a martial arts movie. And so I just feel like Henry Golding, I'm pretty sure Marvel's already on the phone with this guy because he's probably fielding multiple offers at this point, but if they can land him, I'd be really excited about that. And now, time for one of our favorite segments, Twitter question of the week. So, as always, let's revisit last week's Twitter question of the week, which was, in honor of hashtag International Women's Day and the debut of Captain Marvel, which of these female-led superhero films are you most looking forward to? And the choices were Black Widow, Batgirl, Supergirl, and Birds of Prey. And the winner, with 32% of the vote, is Black Widow. In second was Supergirl with 27%, Birds of Prey with 23%, and Batgirl with 18%. Any surprises there, Doug?
No. I knew Black Widow was probably going to be the fan favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's just the bad mamma jamma, man.
No, she is. I will say I'm a little bit surprised. So I was surprised that there was as much love for Supergirl as there was, and I'm excited for a Supergirl, but it seems like that out of all the movies, there's probably the most unknown about the movie. Like Birds of Prey and Black Widow definitely have things in place. They have plans in place.
Right.
Batgirl, there's still some stuff unknown about that, but the screenwriters, and the director seem to be booked, but Supergirl, there seems to be a lot unknown, so I was surprised a little bit, but that means, hey, people want to see Supergirl on the big screen, and I can't be mad at them for it.
I wouldn't mind it either.
No, I'm excited for all four of these movies, so no bad options here. But now it's time to talk about this week's Twitter question of the week, which is, the new Avengers Endgame trailer has us wondering, who will be the new face of the MCU going forward? And man, we've got three choices, really four choices. Captain Marvel, Black Panther, Spider-Man, and other. Because obviously we can't fit everybody on here. But who are you going with, Doug? The future face of the MCU? Who knows? It could still be the same faces. We don't know what will happen in Endgame.
That's true. But if there needs to be some new kings, I could definitely see it coming down to between Black Panther and Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah, those are the two kind of standout characters of the MCU right now. Captain Marvel, I think could be one as well. But it's really the charisma of Spider-Man, because we all know Spider-Man. Spider-Man is the front runner of Marvel, basically.
No, he is the face of Marvel, the company.
Right.
Like, if you look at comic books, you know, you'll see the Marvel logo, but then on some, you'll just see the Spider-Man's face right next to it.
Spider-Man is that guy. He's that guy for good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, he brings so much charisma and just so much energy
fun.
and fun and responsibility that he's just like, you want to follow him.
Yeah.
Black Panther, I think, is another person just because that movie really made Black Panther just seem like, all right, well, if we don't know who to go to, like if Captain America's not here, if Iron Man's not here, who do we turn to? Black Panther. He's going to be the other guy that you have to turn to as that leader figure. So I definitely think it comes to that. I definitely think it comes to between those two individuals.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think it comes down to those top three that I mentioned. I mean, now I will say, I guess, we don't know, like we said, we don't know what will happen in Endgame. And personally, I could really see Thor, just because I feel like Thor's going to be around in the MCU no matter what. And he's already one of the big three, so maybe he could.
Yeah.
But I really think those three are the favorites. I will lean towards Black Panther just a little bit, just because, like I said, he is, you know, when Kevin Feige and others have really talked about that, they've just been so proud of this film, nominated for 7 Oscars, nominated for Best Picture, you know, breaking the record for February. I mean, there was so many firsts with Black Panther, and it was just so resident and, you know, in people's minds. And so many, how many times have you heard this year Wakanda Forever? Or last year Wakanda Forever? Too many to count.
So many.
So I just feel like, you know, Black Panther, all three of those guys, I feel like they're going to be Marvel's, you know, new trinity, as it were. But if I had to choose one, I would probably go with Black Panther. So that's going to do it for this week's episode. Doug, thanks again for coming on.
No problem. It's always good to be here.
Yep. And go vote at Zero Capes Required. Once again, go follow at Zero Capes Required for more content and updates. Be sure also to follow at Fly to the Sky 11. But until next time, we will see you later.